He's on, I was just gonna wait for you, to start the streaming, which I started the streaming, so I will get him on Zoom.
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Zoning Commission meeting Monday, March 7th, 6:30 PM, Summers Town Hall. Present are Chris Locatelli, Dan Ferraro, myself, Carl Walton, Jill Conklin, and Jennifer Roy, staff liaison. New business, presentation by J.R. Russo and Associates for a solar array proposed to the Connecticut Siting Council to be located at Osborne Correction Facility, 335 Bilton Road, Summers, Connecticut. You're on.
Good evening. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me here this evening on evening.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You bought it. You have an application, so we had to.
Oh, well, I am here tonight representing a group of people, Connecticut Green Bank, SunPower, and Alternative Power Generation, APG. They are the team, along with us, that are putting together some projects for the Connecticut Green Bank at 4 different Department of Corrections facilities here in the state for solar. 2 of these are in Cheshire. One is here in Summers, and one is in Enfield, right down the street.
Across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, essentially. What they're looking to do is put in some solar behind the meter so that they can use that power to basically help
Offset the cost, yeah.
offset the costs and power portions of the prisons up there. So the summer site, as you're aware, is at the Osborne facility out at 335 Bilton Road. They own, this piece is about 405 acres, I believe.
Yeah.
And where we're working is essentially, this is at the main entrance off of Bilton Road, and we're looking to put in about 7.4 acres of solar fields in this area up on in the hayfield, if you will.
Yep.
So this is an open field for the most part now. There's a
looks like
a little island of trees here that we're going to be.
Substation right there.
Yeah, there's actually the water towers here, and I think the well house is there as well. And then the electrical currently feeds the prison coming up through a pole line through here. So this will be our solar array, and our interconnection point is actually going to be over on the pole line here. So there will be a little bit of tree clearing involved here, and a little bit down here as well for stormwater management, because we're going to need. Right now, this essentially is a crest of the hill.
Yeah.
Let me look.
So gonna take the top off the hill?
No, we're actually we're not gonna change the topography up there.
Okay.
We're gonna set this up.
Well, there's very little blocking the sunlight there, so.
Yep, and, but there is a crescent hill, this all comes this way, a little bit comes this way, it comes this way. So we've gotta set up a drainage system here, and obviously have our stormwater basins on the low side, so we're looking to put a stormwater basin here and one a little bit further down.
Yeah, there's some kind of, structures that are on that corner of Bilton Road already that are raised structures. I think they're part of the septic system or the sewer system though, that goes to Enfield. They're like on the corner in the woods, and they raised the structures, cause they were having flooding issues, I think.
That could be. I know that the water tank, you'll notice that this is one of the water lines that, from the water tank feeds.
That's up on the hill?
Bolsky. This one I think feeds some Bolsky, and then there's 2 more down here, which cut across the field out toward Willard and the Enfield facility.
Yep, so they must cross Bilton Road somewhere.
Yeah, they cross Bilton Road down to the south here. This one must cross, I don't know where this one crosses. I know it crosses the driveway, and that's where we stop trying to figure out where it went. So, yeah, we're not planning to regrade this. So we're trying to minimize our earth disturbance.
Yep.
The only earth disturbance really that we're gonna have to do, aside from driving piles, which is minimal, is essentially excavating and building our stormwater management basins. Because these are going to be set up kind of across the contour, we are actually going to put a curtain drain, if you will, at the drip edge of each of these panels.
Okay, so to pick it up and bring it to the edge of the hill.
Bring it to the edge and pipe it down into our stormwater basin. So that's how the stormwater
Is
system.
it the plan for that to be a retention detention basin, or is it to Are you picking it up in a big French drain and you're gonna take it away?
No, it is gonna be a retention basin.
Okay.
So we've done soil testing out there and permeability testing. The soils aren't great, but enough so that we can at least recharge and infiltrate some of the groundwater.
Yep.
The overflow will be to the existing.
There's a little, like, creek thing up there, right?
There's drainage in the street, but all that.
And it goes across the road into that
into
field across
on
the
other
street.
side. Yeah. So that's the stormwater end of things.
Used to drink beer, no.
What else do I got? There's the storm renovations, obviously it'll be surrounded by security fencing, which will be their.
Machine gun towers too?
No, this one is, a little further, none of our work here gets close to that, so we don't have to
Yeah,
worry
no, I
about that.
know.
At the Enfield one, they're asking us, cause, there, we're actually gonna put in some poles.
What, close to where the fence
overhead,
is?
And they're like, well, how close is that overhead line to the fence? We're like, well, there's not a lot of room between the.
Is it gonna well, that's another permit, is it gonna cross the road and go close to the, like, where they play baseball, or is it staying to the other side of the road?
The other side, it's on the other side, so from here, there's the open field, there's the wetland, there's Willard,
Yep,
and then there's the driveway that takes you up to Enfield in the back, and it's gonna be the west of that driveway. That's the Enfield. And that's gonna serve, it's gonna have interconnections.
okay, I think I know where you are, you're not going across Taylor Road.
No, no, they were looking for one there, but it's wet.
Oh, where the grass fields are, okay.
So, let's see. We did have a soil scientist look here. Obviously, there's no wetlands really associated with this. The wetlands are on the other side of the road, down at the other end of the field. There's really no residences nearby. Really, this is only gonna be viewed as people drive
Well,
up the
sure
street.
they are, but they're confined.
Huh?
They're confined. They're
Well,
one of,
those are
that's
gated.
one of the two most
There are-
exclusive gated communities in Connecticut, you know.
There are several residences, you're correct, but we don't really care about their opinion.
And they're happy that you're not gonna power the electric chair with the solar panels. Look, they used to have an electric chair there.
What's the production size? This is gonna be, I got that written down, 1.8 megawatts AC. So because we exceed the 1 megawatt AC,
Yeah.
that triggers us into the siting council jurisdiction, which is why we're not in front of you with any formal applications, but as part of their process.
Oh, 'cause you gotta go to them first.
No,
Just
no, we do
directly
have to
them.
go to them, but not first.
Oh,
We're
okay.
coming here kind of during the design stage to solicit the town's input. Any recommendations, input, you know, if there's any things that you guys want, we wanna be, you know,
Can you run a line to my house on
well,
Sunset?
that might be a stretch. But, with regard to the site plan and that, you know, we wanna make sure that we get the town's input, if there's any recommendations we can incorporate, you know.
As they have in the past, will they be putting on a public meeting where they run the meeting and?
That will actually be up to the siting council. We
Okay,
will-
I didn't know
we
if they
do-
did that as a matter of course, or if they would only do it if they felt it was
They
necessary.
only do it if they feel it's necessary, it's their decision, and that, we are required to provide a butter notifications to, and unfortunately to everybody that's.
Well, it's gonna be anybody who's within a
Right,
couple hundred
Mhm.
feet of the edge of the property, right?
yeah.
So there's some people on Bilton, and that's about it.
Yeah,
That
well,
yellow
yeah.
house is the first house, correct, on the left?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The large yellow house there?
yeah, the yellow house, and then there's some blank fields, and then there's,
Yeah, I
Nothing,
think actually
again.
there are, if you go all the way around the property, there's like 30 parcels.
yeah, but it's still,
Yeah.
they're so fringe, I mean, you got one guy back in the woods who's
Well,
on the
that's the
swamp,
thing,
and
is
you got
none
the
of-
horse
none of them
farmer,
see
and
this.
you got Nick Stone over there on, in the farm, the other side.
Right.
How about Hall Hill Roadside, are you going that way at all, does that,
You have to be within 200 feet of the property line.
200 feet?
Yeah, actually, the
Well,
way the
you know,
siting
you-
council's
Chris's land might
regulation
be.
is,
I'm just
it's
saying-
just the butters, it doesn't even give a distance, so.
Oh, it doesn't
There
give
were
a
butters,
distance,
yeah.
so, yeah, so
well,
they'll-
no, he
they'll-
doesn't, he doesn't abut,
Oh, he does.
you know, because there's bridle paths behind there.
What are they saying?
No. Straight through the woods, there's
To
none.
that,
Goes,
having
it-
Bridle
constructed-
path is right behind his
That's the
place,
man on
there's a house behind there.
the Zoom
There's
could
two
probably
houses.
answer that one. Dan, the question was, duration of construction.
yet.
You got
Are
him.
you muted, Dan? We can't hear
Dan,
you.
are you muted?
Are you
Maybe.
muted?
Did you mute, did you,
Hang on, Dan.
Oh,
now we can hear him.
hang on, let me turn it up a little.
You did say the technical, all
They're gonna be driven
five,
by us, yeah.
It's gonna be
Is that to
attractive
put the
there.
racks on?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
No words movement at all.
Alright.
No,
Tim.
so it'll look similar,
Yeah. You won't disrupt anything.
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so Ed's on the phone also,
Oh, okay.
I believe. So even better than me giving the schedule, we'll turn it to the guy in charge of construction. Ed, can you hear us?
Yes, I do. I can hear you.
He said he can't hear us.
What kind of construction schedule do we have for
Oh,
this
did
one,
he
Ed?
Well, because of all of the, actually, I mean, that's fine. We are facing from one to another. And Tim knows how long it's gonna take all of the meetings and finish all of the due diligence. And based on our estimates, we probably gonna, the plan is to start construction. Somewhere around mid-June, July.
And how long for completion, Ed?
So the completion of construction, it's, are we talking about specific site?
Yeah, just Osborne.
Or
We're-
just
Osborne,
yes.
That I can pull and tell you based on our schedule. Just bear with me for a second.
Okay.
So, schedule. And I'm trying to pull the latest one because we changed so many times. So the Osborne construction, hold on just 1 second. Osborne, right now, the plan is to start mobilization on end of July, July 27th. And completion, substantial completion, it's somewhere around end of October.
Okay.
That's not that
So
long.
one construction season.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, we've still gotta go through the siting council process, which is, that's why we're pushing the construction start date out till July.
Yeah, well, you never know, they might surprise you and you might get done quicker.
You never know.
I mean, I don't think the pandemic has affected them at this point, but I don't know that for sure either.
So, yeah, so that's the plan. So we are looking to submit to the siting council probably next month. We're just finalizing our plans, as you probably know, we're dealing with the state and different entities. We've got several levels of review that we have to go through,
Yeah,
just to finalize the plans, and then we'll get it to the siting council and go from there. And our hope is that, based on this presentation, that perhaps you guys would feel comfortable enough to provide us just with a letter of support to submit with our application to the siting council.
I, can have to take it up with the commission, but
Yep.
I don't see any reason why we couldn't do that.
That would be great.
No reason to think that we couldn't do that and send you away with it tonight or have Jennifer get it to you shortly, like tomorrow.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
I don't think we've ever had anybody come before us before this setting council.
Yeah, we did. Jeff Lipton's project came before us through the siting council.
Through the siting council.
Yep,
Not-
well, this way, came through this way.
Prior,
I don't remember that.
Prior permission from us or prior entertainment, cause I remember the first time that went through, we all thought, oh, well, we don't need to take this. And was when we found out what the siting council actually does, like they do with telephone transmission.
Yes,
Cause
yeah.
the most recent thing I think that we've dealt with was the
Hall Hill Road.
Hull Hill Road Tower.
Yeah, yeah,
And, you know, they ran the public meeting, that was why I was asking.
right. Yeah.
Well, I think you were part of that too, weren't you?
No, not Lipton's.
Oh, no, Hull Hill Road, the telephone transmission tower. Okay, I know they had a lot of fun with some of our local caller.
Oh,
Do you have any other questions for these
No, I
gentlemen,
really
or-
don't.
Okay, I just didn't know, I didn't want them to have.
Anybody have any questions about it? I mean, it's all straightforward.
yeah, yep, it is, and like I said, it's,
And it's certainly something that, I mean, in the long run, is gonna save all of us taxpayers a little money, maybe. Probably not, but who knows?
and you couldn't ask for a better location. Just
No.
put it at the prison, you know?
Well, yeah, it's not like we can do anything there anyway, and,
Right. All right, well, I appreciate your time.
just make sure that Chris's card to give him, you know,
Yeah,
so.
right, I'll pass it, no problem.
Okay. Dan and Ed, I think we're done.
Okay.
We appreciate you
Yeah.
joining
I'll call him
Tim.
tomorrow.
And let him know that we will be happy to give him a letter.
You can
Yeah.
end it.
Just so, in case you didn't hear,
Pop
they,
there.
there's Ed,
Referral?
they will be giving us a letter, and, they didn't have anything specific to request or recommend, so we should be in good shape.
So why are we giving a letter? I'm just curious.
Because he asked if we could give him a letter so that they could use that when they go to see the siting council. Say to the siting council, we made a proposal to the town of Summers, and they didn't really have any issue with it, which is all the letter stands
Thank you
for.
both.
That's it.
And we're gonna vote on that, so
Good
if
night.
we don't agree, then they won't be getting a letter, but.
Yeah, the intent,
I thought I was
It's good to go
under,
to the siting council, they wanna know if you've contacted the town or sought
Mhm.
input from the town. And we found that it's always good if we can get us a letter from the town saying, yes, they did come to us, and we didn't have any issues with what they presented.
but I was always under the understanding that the siting council has the final word,
They do.
regardless
They do.
of what the town says.
They-
Well, they do, but
do.
they still wanna
They
know what
do.
your response is. Even if you said negatively, they still get the ultimate decision, but they wanna know what the town thinks.
This would probably influence how hard the siting council looks at the project as far as
Right.
whether they feel it's going to be necessary to have a public hearing, et cetera. Which, if we don't really need it, why put them through that?
Mm.
I mean, it's not like us, it's not like we don't have a choice with public hearings.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I don't really wanna spend a couple of nights in front of the siting council with a room full of people.
I don't think
Well,
we
they're very
will.
efficient.
I don't think we will. I don't
Well,
think it really matters.
They did that with,
The only town they ever turned down was Stonington. I think there was one in Stonington they turned down.
no idea.
I've done
And it may have been because of those historic
Yeah,
district
something like
influence or
that.
something, I mean, down there, you never know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
Well, I appreciate your time.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Tim.
much.
Thanks, Tim.
You're gonna be good to have around, Chris, you know all about it.
That a little bit.
Well, it's 'cause you
know,
dealt,
a
well, but you
little-
dealt with it over there too. See, no, but you got an idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did power generation for a lot of years, so,
You what?
I did power generation. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, before I did work at Royal Rex, I worked at fuel cells.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah, this stuff's very straightforward,
Yeah, I mean,
it's efficient, so.
it sure is. And it's popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's so attractive.
No, it's not.
It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not
No,
attractive.
it's not, but neither are windmills
I know.
or atomic, generating plants. And at least they don't have to deal with the waste.
But, you know, green energy.
Well, eventually it will be waste.
That's the trade-off.
It'll be waste,
Yeah, eventually those
eventually it'll be
cells wear
scrap
out and
metal.
it's scrap, and
but
what happens then?
it's not generating nuclear waste that has a half-life of longer than we're all gonna be here.
With your application, then you provide a decommissioning plan
Mhm.
for when it.
It's just like cell towers, same thing.
Exactly.
They have an
Any power
expected
generating
life.
source has a decommissioning plan.
Yeah.
There's an end of life date already determined, it's all part of the process.
Right.
And I think they may even require a monitoring in place for that decommissioning.
For the funds to be allocated for it?
I would think so, it would make sense.
Isn't it like
I don't know
50
what's
years
it
out
are.
or something, like it's
No,
a,
they're not that
No.
long.
No, it's probably more like a 30 or
Maybe
25 or 30
now
or.
with the technology improvements.
Yeah, it's usually like an 8-year payback with 25 years.
it's a lease, right? The companies lease the land.
Hard to say how the state would do it.
On this particular site, I'm not sure how they're gonna set it up, whether
What's the state?
SunPower's gonna operate it, or whether they're just gonna turn it all over to the state, and the state will do that.
They'd have the trustees take care of it. Well, forget it, Chris.
Hmm.
Give them a couple Skag lawnmowers and you're out of the picture.
There's more,
Well, what?
there's a lot more out there.
There are a lot more out there. There are a lot more out there. Okay, thanks,
you.
Tim.
I'll be in touch then, just,
Okay. Yeah, just a day or two, and I can have Carl sign it.
thank you.
Anybody have any agenda items they'd like to add?
How does this Sarah Papali, I don't think that we really need that under, add an agenda item,
No.
probably just under staff
We're
report.
gonna have a discussion?
Well, yeah, kind of under staff report, I didn't list her specifically, I listed the 3 main things that are going on in my staff report.
So we have to add it, right?
Well,
If we're gonna discuss it?
I mean, you
No?
can if you
We
wanna
can if we want, if you wanna add it.
make a motion to add,
I don't know.
uh,
What do you think?
discussion of,
We're not doing anything with it, or, right?
We're not gonna do anything with it tonight.
no, it's
No.
just,
But it's not an application either, it's just a
Not yet.
look, see, right? Like feeling us out.
right,
She's asking questions that look like there will be a application.
they're both,
Mhm.
they're both
You know,
permitted.
dimensions and everything of this, like, this doesn't really say a whole lot.
No, it really doesn't, and
Yeah.
when I looked at, I was saying to Jennifer, when I looked at the stuff that we got like this, I had no idea
Yeah,
what
that's
it
what
was.
I saw
I
this
know
one.
exactly where it is now.
Yeah, I drove by it, I mean, I took a look at it, I mean, I know
It's a
exactly where
huge
it is.
piece
but
of property.
This is a, hey, I'd like to do this, what are your thoughts, kind of a feeler, and then she needs to send all
The
the.
reason why I figured, I suggested to her to run it by you first is because they're 2 separate uses that require a special use permit.
Right, so it would be,
So,
it would be
if you had
ganged
any, you know,
up special use
hang up of
permit.
doing the both special uses on one property, but it's 12.5 acres.
Yeah.
And she says it's only a few dogs that she wants to kennel, like, right within their house, so it's not like she's gonna have 20 dogs.
Yeah.
No, and
per
she's not
house.
gonna breed dogs, she's just
Not
gonna,
breeding, just
she's
looking
just
to
gonna
board.
them.
But
Boards
by what
and-
she's looking at, this isn't gonna be a huge footprint, but you need to have the dimensions of the place, it's not gonna be, you know,
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
I mean,
no, this, yeah, definitely, 'cause this is preliminary.
yeah.
I mean, the dimensions of the house,
it's a raised ranch,
Yeah.
it basically, the bottom floor is the, you know, has an office, a laundry room and mudroom, and she's, you know, looking to kennel a couple of dogs.
and where would the horse boarding be, is it this other building, or?
She already has a barn there, and then she sketched on some paddock to add as well. I mean, obviously, there would be a more formal scale
Oh, no, there
drawing.
will be, there'll be a survey and everything.
Yeah.
But no, this,
How far are the people that live around there?
Again, we don't have a scales drawing,
There's people pretty close by.
out on Billings Road, you
Penny.
have Mrs. Gall, who was the chicken lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's there, you have, Guimond, the
Guimond.
concrete guy, and you got, Star
But doesn't this also
in a
go
row.
over to?
And then in the other way, I don't know who
Penny.
you got, but you got
Access
somebody
to
else the
Yeah,
other way,
that's
but this
not-
is the
you can
house
See
that
it from
Yeah,
The
it won't be
driveway
on
comes
that
off of
end,
Billings?
that's narrow
Yeah.
over there.
and turns,
That's
and it
really
goes
just
all the
her
way out to Penny
frontage.
Road. It's
Oh.
that huge, it's that farm.
Oh, yeah?
It's a farm, I mean, this is
It
not
was a
gonna-
farm,
it's
it's
not
12
gonna-
acres.
Yeah, it's not gonna look awkward, I mean, obviously, again.
I don't think you're even gonna notice it.
No, well, you gotta see the footprint and dimensions.
This is just before her going through the process of getting a, you know, a more
Right.
formal site plan and
Yeah.
Just say, hey, here,
it's
here's
gonna
what
be
I'm
2
thinking.
separate
This is the way
applications.
we
I have to
should do all
remember
these.
back when we did our, I don't
But
have
this is
my
the way we
regs.
should
Right.
do all these.
Right, I wouldn't want her to,
Pre-application.
I don't have our regs with us, cause I remember in the past, we didn't allow kennels.
We do.
you do
So
allow
now
We
I
it.
do
think
allow
we do
kennels,
now.
we don't allow
Right.
breeding of dogs, but we allow boarding.
You allow kennels by a special use permit.
Right.
Yeah, the issue was that's near
With
homes,
grooming, we
that they
didn't allow
get the
grooming.
barking.
So there, it's 12.5 acres.
But depends on where.
I don't
And
know
then
the
the
distance.
kennel appears to be going in the basement of the home
Yeah.
from the sketch.
Mhm.
Right.
and it's the basement,
Yeah,
so there probably won't be a runway, but you can't say.
yeah, right.
It probably won't be outdoors.
Well-
I don't think anybody complains about Red House.
No, I've never.
I was just gonna say that,
Yeah,
I've never,
yeah.
I've never
You
heard
ever
of
heard
one
anything from
complaint.
No,
No.
and I don't think anybody complains about the
Main
women
Street?
that are on
Yeah.
off of Rochop
Neither
Road
of
across
those.
from King that do.
Yeah, I've
door
never
to
heard
door.
that.
within 500 feet of both of that location.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they're gonna have
Well,
an outdoor area though, some kind of area to let the dogs out.
Until
Well,
they
till
give
they
us
come in with an
their details,
application.
we won't know, but,
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
that will be a consideration, Joe, for sure.
yeah, that'd be the only
And
thing.
as far as the horses go, they've got 12 acres, they got more than enough
Mhm.
room for a few
Right.
horses.
Her house.
That's what I
I know
thought Chris was
exactly
here
where it
for,
is.
actually.
Really? Why?
Well, because of what he's doing up off of Mountain View.
Oh, yeah, I guess, but that's,
No, I don't know.
that's his bread and butter.
I know it is,
Is,
I know it is.
is those solar fields. I saw the back of his head, I'm like, oh, he's here for,
Yeah,
I
I wasn't sure when he came through the door whether he was here for that or the other.
Anyways, her house is about 200 feet from the houses that are on Billings Road.
Mhm.
That are on Billings.
Yeah,
Right.
'cause it backs, it's
Now,
towards
how-
the
oh,
beginning
from Billings, yeah,
There's
she's
like
a
two-
long ways, she's
there's
like
two
400
houses.
feet back from
Right.
Binney.
There's two houses that are about 210 feet from
Well,
her house.
doesn't
So
she have
that's either
frontage on
side of
Penny
her
as well?
driveway? That's Carolyn Gall's house
Does
and
she
the
have
one to
frontage
the
on
other
Penny?
side?
She does.
Yeah,
But her
road
house, Jill,
goes
is,
all the way from
Yeah.
Penny to Fall.
but her house is
Yeah, it
900
comes,
feet
it
from
comes in and
Penny.
goes,
Mm.
comes in and goes like this,
Yeah,
Joe.
I know, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
she's got frontage, I know the property, she's
Yeah.
got frontage
Yeah.
on both roads.
Those
So-
are the people that were upset with Carolyn Greenfield for the chickens, because her chickens
These
were going.
people?
Yes, no,
No,
the people who lived there before her.
oh,
Yeah.
People that
Anyways,
lived there before her, because her chickens were going down in her yard and she had a dead one in her driveway and they were pooping on her cars and
Yeah.
so if you don't see any huge red flags, I can let her know that something,
I would say proceed.
okay. Okay.
Any consensus there?
No, I agree.
well, we'll look at an application.
Submit it and see what it looks
Yeah,
like.
I mean, we're gonna need more detail,
You're
obviously.
gonna need a better
I don't,
I would
I'm
say-
not alarmed by two special
Right.
use permits.
Uh-huh,
I'm not alarmed by two special
right,
use
I
permits.
didn't think it would be two
'Cause they
separate
re- But they
applications,
relate,
but it would be two separate
but you
applications,
do them
no?
concurrently,
Right, but they're completely separate applications and special use permits,
yes.
which
And
is,
they
you
should
have
be
problem
treated
with the
that way,
dogs,
but
right.
they're not two uses that aren't in harmony.
They're in harmony, but if you've got problems with the dogs and she's got a special use for that, then, well, you revoke that.
Correct,
And she still has one for the
The
boarding of the horses.
right.
That's how it would make sense.
Mhm.
To keep
Yeah.
it separate, you could definitely run them concurrently, hold a public hearing the same night.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and then like I said, on the other items on my staff report, just an update on the Eastmans, that they're done removing the rock, so they're starting their next round of water testing. Still having some issues with working after 4, but I reminded them today that your conditions were any and all construction of this project, including moving the rocks around.
Right, not beyond
Because
certain
one of the neighbors
hours.
said that they're still hearing the backup.
Oh,
beeps
sound
and stuff.
beep, beep.
Yeah, so,
Some of the neighbors moved away.
Hmm.
and then, we're getting appealed, your decision is getting appealed for the
Mhm.
winery.
Yeah. Did you hear any more on that, whether or not, the Murdochs have filed anything, as you and I discussed, or,
They filed their special use permit.
okay?
on
No,
the
but
land
did they
record.
fire in a
I
intervene or
don't know.
whatever?
I don't
Okay.
no, I haven't heard
Because you
anything
had
else.
said something about that, and that would determine probably how soon it's coming back to us.
I haven't heard anything, and that
Okay.
would be something correct that their
But
their
it'll hold,
attorney would.
it'll just wait for us for April.
Yep, yep. If I hear anything, I'll let
And
you
if
know.
it really starts over, you get to play.
I was just gonna say, I know, I read that, I mentioned that to, Josh the other day, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. That'll
Yep.
be interesting.
Oh,
So then we'll just go into our next endeavor of, cannabis.
Yeah.
So the Board of Selectmen are holding, after their regular meeting on March 17th, they're holding a public informational session for the public to come out and
I
provide.
saw that in the
St.
flyer.
Father's Day.
So any of
I
you
know,
that
I'm
want to
thinking.
attend, or even just, log into the YouTube and listen in.
Oh, you know, definitely plan on doing that. You have any
Yeah.
indication of how the response to the survey You
I haven't
Can't
had a
Escape is
chance
going?
to ask, I meant to ask him today before, but I don't know.
If any of you visit the Summers Town webpage,
You can just,
you're greeted with the questionnaire immediately, and every time you click your mouse, it comes back.
really? So it lets you do it again?
No, it won't let you do it more than
No, one
once.
time, yeah,
You
'cause
can vote over and over again.
I did it with the Q
If you have as many
code.
devices as you have, yes. That was a conversation that came up at the selectmen's meeting, and they were concerned, and justifiably, because when people started doing internet surveys, there was no control.
Mhm.
So now it gives you a cookie.
Right.
So I guess if you have the cookies turned off in your device,
Then you could,
like I used to have mine say that I would accept the cookie and then it dumps all the cookies when I leave the site. You won't be able to vote more than once. But if you had 1,000 devices, you could vote 1,000 times if
Yeah.
you're so motivated.
Kids, can I use your iPad for a minute?
Well, no, the only thing I would worry about would be if somebody posted it somewhere and invited people to just come and post.
Right.
Cause there isn't any proof, they just ask questions, do you live here? Are you,
Doesn't-
you know,
It asks if you're 21, I think.
yeah, but if you live in town, if you're a resident.
Doesn't ask.
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does?
Yep, because I did it on the Q code. They sent out that,
Well,
Yeah.
it's in the newsletter and
yeah, the
it's
newsletter,
in-
it's in there, but you can just
in the
turn on.
article, in the free newspaper, it's everywhere. But it follows you around if you go to the town website.
Well, I mean, you can I'm sure I don't know when, I can get the results whenever Kim, I don't know what the deadline is, but you can come
It's, the
sit
deadline is the meeting, isn't it? Isn't that when the deadline is?
I don't
for
know.
the survey, I don't know,
I think so.
probably
So
around
this
then.
is, they
There's
have
gonna
a,
be a
they
lot
have a
going on
select,
that night
they
at
have a
that meeting.
selectmen's meeting that night, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then this
I think
is
so.
gonna follow after?
This is at 7, yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about a couple of different things that night.
So this is at 7, so you can come sit and listen in,
Mm.
or,
Yeah,
I guess I just wouldn't talk or sit with each other
Well,
if you do show up.
We can't show up and we can't
We
be a
can't-
quorum
we
together.
can't show
unless
up and
we
talk.
need an
So if
agenda.
you just sit separate if you come in person and so that you're not
I'm not coming here in purpose.
misconstrued as to discuss the topic.
Are you?
what's that? No.
Well, you can zoom in, or you can, go in, not zoom in, go on YouTube. You
I'll
go on our
watch it on
website,
YouTube.
yeah, so you can watch it.
Maybe we'll be able to hear everybody speak even.
Maybe, well, they
It
put
doesn't
down
work
pretty
real,
good with
doesn't
the
work real, no.
microphone.
Anytime anyone speaks into one of these, you can't hear them.
Not those, you have to just talk loud. But it's
Okay.
something with the YouTube,
it's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
right here in this room.
Yeah, this'll
I
be the
wonder how
room.
many they expect.
I don't know.
A room full.
I
They
know,
have
I
all the
can't-
selectmen's meetings in this room, so that they can
You
spread out.
really never know, look at our zoning regs,
Yeah, but
information meetings, we had an average turnout of people.
But we don't have
We
our,
only had a big
we don't
turnout
have
when
it all over the
coincided
place
with the
like this is
Hillsdale
all over
thing.
the place.
What do you mean all of it?
Like it's on the flyer, or whatever, the
Oh.
newsletter.
We did
it's
though,
on-
we put it in the newsletter and we put it on Facebook.
We don't put all our public hearings in.
No, when we did our regs, we had an average
Oh,
turnout.
yeah, but this, yeah, okay.
There could be a good, it's just
I think
gonna
there'll be
probably
a
be
turnout.
surprisingly either way, we're either not
Yeah.
gonna get very many people, or
It's gonna
we
be
could
packed.
fill the room, right, you just never know.
Yeah, it's gonna be feast or
I think
famine.
it's gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah,
We'll see.
which is good.
Mm.
It is good. I mean,
Yeah.
we really have to find out, what do the townspeople wanna do
General
about it? I mean,
consensus.
I don't think it's gonna make a big difference one way or another to the town, revenue-wise or crime-wise or
We
anything
do or
else.
don't, yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
everybody can go to Massachusetts and it's probably cheaper, it's like buying gas.
Yeah, I
Let's
just
not
wanna.
talk about that right now. Buying gas, going up. and
Go to
up.
Costco in Massachusetts, it's at least 30 cents a gallon cheaper.
Yeah, I always buy it at Costco.
Yeah.
I like Somersville Mobile's price, $3.69. Of course, they haven't been open to sell gas for a week.
I know,
What's
what's up with
going on
that?
over there?
They had a leak, they got shut down.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Did anyone read the February 7th minutes that they'd like to, make a motion to approve them or not?
So moved,
Oh.
As written,
as written.
any second?
Second,
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. You were here.
Yep. Okay,
Anything else?
adjournment?
It's not up to me. All I can say is, it's 5 after 7, I don't know, we're just rolling along here now.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting
At 7:05?
at 7:05.
It took longer than I thought, but if we hadn't had to wait for Ed there, we would have been all set.
Right,
I'll second that.
I heard, yeah,
Oh,
great.
okay.
Any discussion? Anybody wanna stay?
We'll save it for the next time.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're out of here.